welcome to another episode of Ginger Force Apocalypse, the podcast. I'm Britt Rochelle.
And I'm Muffin.
And today, we're going to... No PowerPoints, not really any visuals unless we decide to look some up. But I want to talk to Muffin about something people have been kind of jumping on the bandwagon on, or at least talking about it. And I just saw this term the other day and thought it was hilarious. They call it boomer maxing. Like, guys, we gotta start boomer maxing. We gotta stop using all these all-in-one devices, like cell phones that are, play music, you get your news on, you do, your scroll, your social media, you're communicating, you can do, like, everything from your phone. But, boomer maxing, as they're calling it, or I don't even know if it's a trend yet, but that might be just at the start of it, God willing. But my point being is instead of using these all-in-one devices, you're basically going back to dedicated hardware. So you don't have your phone to listen to music, text your friends, call your friends, read your books, read your newspaper, listen to music. You can't do 6 things plus on one device. Play your games. If you want to play a game, go to your console. You want to call your friends? Sure, use the phone. You want to listen to music? Pop a CD into the CD player. God forbid, use an iPod Nano or an iPod Shuffle or other kind of non-Apple MP3 player, because those did exist. Those were huge. I didn't get an iPod till I was in, I think 9th grade, and that was a hand-me-down. I've never actually purchased an Apple product, but I did get an MP3 player for Christmas. It was like the shittiest quality imaginable, but man, was it better than nothing. So, I guess Muffin and I, what we decided to talk about today is the differences, the pros and cons of our convenient all-in-one do-it-all machines versus having dedicated hardware. So, first of all, I want to start by defining dedicated hardware, which is exactly what it sounds like, and basically what I just described, which is a specific object that performs a specific function. So nowadays, you can watch Netflix on your PlayStation 5. You just have to download the app. Back in my day on the PlayStation 1 and 2, if you bought a PlayStation, you bought it to play games. If you're feeling froggy, sure, you can watch some DVDs on it. Again, I'm pretty sure I burnt mine out using it primarily as a DVD player after a while. But again, my point being, had I not done that, had I just kept using my PlayStation 2 for its intended purpose of playing PlayStation 1 and 2 games, it would probably still work today. It's a machine that lasts. But that's obviously not exclusive to the PlayStation 2. That's also you have a flip phone that can text and call. That's it. No apps. No games, no audiobooks, no Spotify, no nothing. You could have a CD player, with your headphones that only plays CDs. That is its function. That's dedicated hardware. And when I obviously talk about, there's probably a better term for it. When I talk about the all-in-one machine, I am talking about our modern smartphones and similar technologies that perform multiple functions. So, what do you think is the biggest pro about dedicated hardware? And, what are your opinions, pros, cons, experiences? What are your thoughts?
It depends on what exactly you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because, anybody can put music on anything. You can play music on a pregnancy test now.
Right.
It's really just what you intend to use your dedicated hardware for. If you just want the nostalgia of having, a failing piece of hardware, go for it.
A failing piece of hardware?
Yeah, failing piece of hardware.
Why do you say it's a let's call it a CD player that only plays CDs. Why is that a failure? Why is it a failure if it performs its specific designated function?
If it wasn't a failure, we would still have CD players mass produced. Would we not?
Well, they used to be mass produced. I guess it's not.
No.
No, it's not a failure though. It's just.
It is a yes or no question.
Well,
yes or no question.
I mean, they are still mass produced, so yes, they're just not as. They're still made.
Who around here is walking around with a Walkman? Who around here is walking around with a CD player? Okay.
Say, oh, and
a wired headset.
Who
is doing that?
I'm about to be. Fuck it.
Okay, yeah, but you age yourself to fucking 90 every chance that you get.
Back in my day!
That's besides the point. The point is, I'm talking about if it is not a failed piece of hardware, it would still be mass-produced as it was back when it was first released. Would it not?
Again, I guess so, but again, that's you and I. To me, that's not a failure. It's just it's become aged out. It's become a relic in a way.
Because it has failed. If it did not fail, it would not have been aged out.
But it didn't
Phones. Fail. Stick with me here, Brittany. Phones have not failed, so they have not aged out, correct?
Well, no. Flip phones have.
No,
Different
they haven't.
Styles of phones.
Flip phones are still being manufactured.
So are CD players.
No.
How many people do you see walking around with my sister when I was a kid? She had this tiny, I swear, it looked like a stick almost, but it was a cell phone with the slimmest screen ever, and it just flipped closed. That's all it did. It was so small, she literally kept it in her bra. Flip phones are still being produced.
Flip phones are still being produced.
So are CD players.
Not as much as phones.
No. Flip phones aren't being mass produced as much as smartphones.
Yes, they are, because they're being made into smartphones. You guys bought one. What are you trying to argue about? You bought a flip phone that was a smartphone.
Touche, but
Motorola has a flip phone that is a smartphone.
Touche, but I guess that I should have been more specific. I'm talking flip phones that are only flip phones. That only do texting and calling.
That's not the way that life is now.
No, it's not. I guess
why
that's
would
what we're talking
that?
Because that's what I'm talking about, I guess, and it should have been floated by now. That's my point that I'm making, I guess, is we do live in an age where just about everything is a do-it-all object. So I guess what I was trying to suggest is the pros and cons. Is it better that all of our objects can do so many different functions, or would it be better if we went back to, say, what some people on the internet are calling boomer maxing now, which is having dedicated devices for dedicated purposes?
Try to go back to having only one object for one thing.
I think it'd be kind of nice.
Try to.
You know how much easier it would be on my phone to just not store and take all of my pictures on it if I just pull out my old digital camera? How much memory I would save and how much smoother things would run? How much less intrusions...
But then there's more stuff that you would have to carry around, which makes it a burden on you.
Yeah, that's why I got this tote bag! I got a tote bag!
But why do that when you can just carry, I don't know, your phone?
Because I like the idea of having multiple objects that work instead of having one object that, struggles to do multiple objects. I actually don't have that bad of a phone. It's a little outdated, but because I'm a big picture taker, I do social media for a living. I do, I do a lot of photography in the loose sense on my phone. It keeps a lot... It takes up a lot of memory in addition to my browser, streaming, shopping, all the other stuff I do on my phone. And in addition, I will say, part of me has been thinking about, switching over even to the flip phones you just mentioned that my friends bought. Like, it's just, like, I actually do need a smartphone for my job because I can't do my job without my smartphone. But
yes, you can. You can 100% do your job without your smartphone.
Not as conveniently.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. And actually, even so, I'm going to say it, Instagram does not work for PC the way it used to. It is ass on... It is literally... It has been optimized for cell phone usage. You, for one, can't
do
go...
you have a laptop?
I do have a laptop.
You can use Instagram on your laptop, and it worked perfectly fine. Did you know that? Because it's got a webcam.
You still can't go live on it.
Yes, you can.
Not from the browser.
Yes, you can. Set it as a mobile version.
And see, it's all... you can just find a workaround. You can just mod it. You can...
Because you can.
No, actually... Wait, no, is it TikTok? No, I think actually you can't. What is it that you can't do? I think you can actually go live from Instagram on the PC. There's something else I couldn't do on there, like post reels or something. It was weird. Like, it's just oddly particular. Also, I don't like my smartphone right now because every time it goes through an update, it not only... If it just updated the software, I'd be like, cool, my stuff runs better. But it almost never runs better because it's bogged down with all these shitty apps that I did not give it permission to install.
I can give you an app that can erase all of that.
That sounds great. I'm down for that.
Can't just go in, though, and start just erasing everything.
I just read Batman-style utility belt, and I'm like, yes, that is about to be what my vibe is because for convenience sake, I will probably keep my smartphone and all that, but I wanna go back to using like CDs, my DVD player. Like, I like the convenience of streaming, I really do, but it is frustrating, the whole, like say you could be watching a movie one week on Amazon and the next week it's just not there anymore. The concept of ownership is so dead. Mostly, I will blame, a lot of this on the streaming and gaming industry because it's something we've complained about a lot. The whole idea of, well, you bought the game, but we're, shutting down the servers on it so you can't play it anymore. Ha. It's not like, I said this last episode and I'll say it again. I have a copy of Treasure Planet for the PlayStation 2. It is its own game. It runs independently. You don't even need an internet connection to play it. So there's no server to shut down to ruin my gameplay. The only thing that could ruin my gameplay is if the system or the disc itself breaks. And even then, if the disc is broken half, that you're just kind of SOL. You gotta find a new copy. But if your system breaks, it's a bit of an easier fix or replacement in some cases. But what I grabbed, something I'm excited to be working my way towards getting back to. Do you remember these, Muffin?
Those look like CD cases.
They're CD binders! They have so much stuff in here! And I think these are my CDs. Yep, these are my CDs. I got a lot of stuff in here. These are more of a thing in like the 90s and early 2000s. Could really judge a person by what was in their CD book. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a psychopath who organized mine through alphabetization. I love having my shit.
I literally could not tell.
That's fair. So, which one am I missing? Which MCR CD am I missing? I know I'm missing one. Let's see, Bullets, Three Cheers, Life on the Murder Scene. The Black Parade. I'm literally just missing the Black Parade and the Greatest Hits album. But yeah, no, I love my CDs. That was actually whenever I got my first car. I literally was getting it for the purpose of going A to B. So my two requirements, because some people are like, oh, I need a stereo system, I need a V6 engine or whatever, V8. I don't know that much about cars, but they just want all these specs. I was in desperate need of a car and also didn't have a lot of money, but I still had two specifications I wanted to follow. I needed air conditioning and I needed a CD player. That's it. Like, my new car I just got a few years back, the other Nissan, not my little one, but the bigger one, it doesn't have a CD.
What bigger one? I only know about the Versa.
The Versa, yeah, I have the Versa, and the other one's a Rogue Sport, I think. Yeah,
that was Jared's.
It is yours, but both of our names are on it.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's yeah, but yeah. So I think that has a CD player, but I actually don't think that it does because cars made after like 2018 don't come with CD players anymore, and
that's a lie.
Really? No, I like.
Yeah.
No, really. What cars come with a CD player now? Because a lot of Fords don't. I'm basing my knowledge off working at a Ford dealership.
So Fords don't, because Fords are still Tesla-fied. They still want to go with the massive screen. They don't want to do anything analog anymore.
Yeah.
Nissan does it.
Oh, good. I knew I liked Nissan for a reason.
Toyota isn't doing it unless you get like a specific trim line. And then even then, it's still everything's a touchscreen, and all the way at the bottom of the center console is the CD player.
I think touchscreens in cars are such a bad idea. I don't like it.
It's convenience. Because again, maps. How are you going to move a map with an analog? It's not an Etch-a-Sketch.
Get a GPS.
Okay, but a GPS even still has a touchscreen, Brittany.
Right, but it's a separate piece of hardware.
Why would you do that if you could put it all under one?
Well, I guess I don't actually have a problem with touchscreens inherently in the vehicles, because I do agree they're quite convenient. I guess what annoys, maybe it's just a personal preference, but some Fords, it's not just a touchscreen, it's a whole like Apple iPad in between the passenger and the driver's seats, and I think that's just a little overkill.
Yeah, that's a bit excessive.
I think a lot of newer like sports cars have them too. I don't remember what vehicle I sat in. I went to this fancy mall with my ex a while back, and we went into one of those fancy schmancy dealerships, but I don't remember which one it was. Yeah, damn near. Yeah, just put a whole friggin' laptop in the vehicle at that point. Like, have your gamer set up in your car at that point.
I mean, on the Ford Fusions, you can 100% put like a console in the back seat, and you would be able to play it on your tiny like 2-inch screen that's right there in the center.
Yeah. Ooh, but speaking of streaming, I don't just have CDs here. Oh no. Oh, sweet, I still. Oh, okay, I did keep some of my liner notes. Heck yeah. Oh my god. Speaking of, if you want to talk about deadware, this is I couldn't show this on stream even if I could get it to work. But this little disc is actually a little slideshow that my class made in like 4th grade of like what we want to be when we grow up and what our favorite hobbies. It's basically just a whole about me section for my entire 4th grade class. This is a time capsule right here, and I have to see if I can find the program that this runs on. But actually, I don't even know if it actually exists anymore. I'd have to look it up. But
it's probably just like Google Docs from 2004.
I wish it was. It's not. I don't even know what it's called. God, I forgot what movies I even have in here. These ones are not alphabetized, but I spoiled it for myself. It's a bunch of movies! And more CDs, because I ran out of space in the other thing. I know what CDs do I even have in here? I forgot I had Fun with Dick and Jane. That's a good movie. Watch. Thank you for smoke. Yeah, I got one of these because I had so many DVDs and I moved around so much. It was a pain in the ass. Physical media is king. That's why I still have these. And I'm going to start... What movie is it? Oh, Just My Luck. I'm going to start watching more movies like on discs again because It is just better. Oh, yes, there it is. Oh, if you want another throwback. I thought it was 2013 that I did this play. This is a copy of Young Frankenstein, but not just any Young Frankenstein. It's the production that I was in the chorus of. If you want to see a little nerdy me in show theater and musical theater, there it is.
I mean, if I wanted to see that, I could just look at you.
But no, like, I'm in costume, singing and dancing. Young Sheldon Frankenstein, basically. I had one line in the play. One. Let's see what else.
Yeah, you haven't really changed, Brittany. The only thing that changed about you is your height.
And my teeth. I got braces. I had some gangly fucking teeth. I think I got my braces before I even met you guys. So you don't know how gangly my fucking teeth were. Like, they were pretty bad. I've got... I don't remember... Oh, Heartstring Marionette, Don John, Repo the Genetic Opera. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Repo the Genetic Opera was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
I fucking love Repo the Genetic Opera.
Most traumatized girls do.
I got to meet the creator and the guy who, the same guy who played the grave robber.
Yeah, it was still a terrible movie.
It was amazing. I loved it. Oh, speaking of which, I got my liner notes signed. The Terrence Adunich signed that. I don't know, I kept some but not others, but I got rid of most of the liner notes. Or the linings and all that. But I kept some of them. Like this one for the producers. Producers is awesome. I have this because
I don't even know what that is.
It's a musical.
Oh. It makes a lot of sense why I don't know what that is.
It will pierce the veil.
Musicals should not exist.
Pierce the veil. See, I still love musicals. You'll never get me to hate musicals. Or agree with... nor will I ever agree with you that they shouldn't exist, because I think they're fun and whimsical. But a little tangent just to be like, you know how nice it is just to be able to pick something up, hold it in your hand, and be like, I own this. This is nice. Because even nowadays, if you buy a physical game, you're often at the mercy of whoever's running the servers for, online play or a lot of other DLC or other kinds of game options. When even with a simple game like The Sims, if you bought DLC or added material for that, you could put the disc in, install it, and then when you swapped it out with the official game disc, the stuff would still just play. Buying used to be being able to own and use the product, and now it's not. So that's why I'm very pro physical media, very pro going analog on stuff, because say your internet goes out or you forget to pay the bill or some other thing happens and your internet just goes out, but you still have power. Pop a CD in, you got music. Pop a DVD player, you got a movie. If your internet goes out, you're kind of SOL in a lot of entertainment if you're purely a digital household. And that's also, books are nice. I like audiobooks. Reading a book is still better for me.
You'll never catch me reading. Never.
Never catch you reading. So, you lose power, you lose internet. All digital media is unavailable to you. What do you do for fun?
You can ask my wife.
No, but what do you do for fun then?
I don't.
You don't? You just sit there and wait for the power to come back on?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. When we lost power, like during the hurricane.
Yeah.
I used my phone all day, and with the extension cords that we had to keep the power running from the generators to the freezers, there was only one slot, and it was for the freezers.
Uh-huh.
I went out to the car and sat in the car for an hour so my phone could charge. Running the car so it would charge. Yeah. And then I came back inside. And my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I was just charging my phone."
Oh my god.
I'm good.
See, I light candles and play a board game. That's what I do. Phone is for texting and calling. But I guess another reason.
That's boring.
See, that's why I guess another reason I'm really pro dedicated hardware is because having everything on your phone, it makes everything so distracting. Not only, and of course, there's the addictive aspect of having constant access to social media. I do need to take off. Well, no, I have some notifications on for. I usually turn most notifications off for stuff. I have my email ones still on. Just, important emails I'm waiting on and stuff like that. But it's so distracting in so many ways. And having dedicated pieces of hardware for dedicated functions, as convenient as it is to have everything on one device, I do prefer having separate devices for separate objects, so that this one device that's supposed to do stuff just works. I guess I don't think I said that right, but my point is, smartphones can so easily get bogged down with so much storage, data usage, streaming. It can make them just not function as well. Unless
you delete stuff.
Yes, you just delete stuff. Yeah, I know, but you know what? Hear me out. You know what else makes great dedicated hardware? That's kind of gone out of fashion, but I want to bring it back. Hang on a minute.
Pull out SD cards or something like that.
Photo albums.
Yeah, outdated.
You gotta
Everything's digital. Now, what are you gonna do when your physical media wears away?
Well, that's why you protect them in plastic sleeves.
No, because even in the plastic sleeves, a fire doesn't care what's plastic and what's not.
No, it doesn't, and that's a damn shame. And that is where I will give you digital storage is very convenient, but you don't even need a fire to happen for data to become corrupt. If you let something sit for too long, or something just bugs out randomly. If something I don't know how glitches work, but I've had files get corrupted and me just lose whole sets of stuff, and it's quite upsetting.
So, things being corrupted is user error.
Yeah?
And that's not me just picking on you.
I believe
that's
you.
100% user error.
I'm trying to find a good picture of me with funkly teeth. Come on now. I just have it. There we go. My dealership days. Here we go. See, there's a difference.
There's not. Your massive forehead is just amplified by those pairs of glasses that you have on.
Do I really have a massive forehead?
Brittany, you could land an RC helicopter on that thing.
Okay, that wasn't the best shot, but I'm sure I'd have to find one me smiling like this, with both teeth. I never used to smile with both rows of teeth because my top rows were not as jacked up as my bottom rows, because, anyways. But no, I feel as... There's something tactile as well about physical media and not everything being digital. Like, being able to physically... protect the identities of those in my book, but look at me, I'm flipping through a book looking at all of these memories I have, and it's really nice. I can touch it instead of just...
I mean, you're still touching it.
You're stistill touching it.
Emphasis,
sure.
touch screen. You are touching it.
Yes, but there's also a lot of light that's blue light that you're shoving into your face all day that is not good for your eyes. Yes, they
Oh,
do.
yes, we're part of the blue light conspiracy. Gotcha.
Oh, is that what it is? It's a
Yeah, I bet
conspiracy.
you think zero sugar is good for you, too.
Zero added sugars.
No.
You
We're
gotta
not
look.
throwing in more words.
No, you have to look at zero. You have to look at like the nutrition label, and if there's not too many like natural sugars exist, and sugar is good for you in moderation. You got to look at the added sugars on the nutrition label.
We're not talking about, accentuated words here, Brittany.
No, if you're talking about the like, I don't disagree with you. Aspartame, a lot of fake sugars are very harmful, which is why a lot of people, a lot of brands that advertise sugar like no or low sugar stuff, they'll advertise like at the bottom of the can or something, aspartame free or no aspartame. And when it comes to my like no zero sugar sodas, I do try to find the stuff that doesn't have aspartame because there are zero sugar things that don't have the harmful sugar replacements. This is more. See, look how pretty this is. It's got my initial on it and everything. If you'll believe me, I found this at a Goodwill, and then I DIY'd it to put the year. This is 10 years ago, and I got memories. Good times. Good times. My first year out of high school. I love photo albums. And that's another thing I like about having photo albums, is I've kept like all of my old phones, or at least most of them, because I actually do intend to get like all of my photos, or at least all the important ones, printed from my devices so that I have photo albums, because it is so much nicer to me to not have to pull out an old cell phone, wait for it to boot up, scroll for the picture I want from a date I barely even remember. I can just go, what year was that? Here's book. Oh, look, memories I can scroll through in a physical sense. Like, it's just more convenient, and I like it. So, that's how I feel about that. Also, if I got into scrapbooking, which scrapbooking is a totally other hobby, scrapbooking, you can not only have your pictures, but you can decorate it and make them look pretty and frilly. And it's and again, that's not just like throwing pictures into a book. That's a whole craft. That's an art form in a way, a very suburban one, but still an art form. I like having
it's a very autistic thing to say that's art.
Well, that just comes with my territory, apparently. You're not the first person to suggest that. I might have a touch of autism. Like,
a touch, Brittany. You are the whole spectrum.
I am. No, I want my exactly. Who doesn't these days? Like, come on. But I want my photo albums, I want my CD player, I want my boombox, and it, especially for like, I'm talking about, I don't want I'll skip that till later, I don't want to bring that up on here, but my point being, I like dedicated technologies for dedicated purposes. As convenient as the all-in-one machine is, and honestly can be, I think things do just function better when you use dedicated things for dedicated purposes. And I don't agree with your definition of failure in a way. Like, I still think we define it the same way. Like the gramophone being a failure just because we don't use them every day in-house anymore. It just means...
I would like to see who's using them at all. Please.
Gramophones used to be quite, popular. They were in every household. You were the cool kid. You were the cool kid on the block. Just once upon a time for having a gramophone in your house. Just like you used to be like the coolest kid in school if you had a TV in your bedroom. You know how hard my sister and I so we shared a room for years when we were living with our grandmas. And when my mom moved out and finally got our own place, we fought over who got the TV in our room. And the compromise we came up with, which worked, and we loved it, was I got the smaller room, but I got to have the TV. And Penny had her own stereo system, so we were both pretty happy. You see, you never... I can see people... Like, Boujang even brings up another good point here. I have regretted giving away pieces of physical media. I have not... I don't miss my old smartphones. I do miss my VHS tapes, and that's the first thing I'm grabbing from my mom's the next time I go visit, are some VHS tapes. Because, yeah, those wear out. Those each have their own... Every piece of technology has their own quirks. Again, just because TVs are flat and often curved... Actually, yeah, we are getting away from flat screens now. We're going for the more curved experience. That doesn't mean the flat screen was a failure. It's just being aged out by newer technologies. It's like saying old people are failures at being human beings just because they got old and younger generations are coming in to take their jobs. They're not failures. They just grew out of their current station. Like... Are you going to tell me old people are failures because they couldn't keep their job for 200 years?
Let's start with driving.
Yes.
Old people should not be driving past 80.
Because because their mental faculties are often, not all there anymore, or they can't see well.
Anything past 70 should not be driving.
But that doesn't mean they're failures. They used to be able to drive, now they can't, because age happens.
The failing part becomes failing to comply.
Now the mental gymnastics you're performing is on some Gabby Douglas levels.
I'm not on any gymnastics here. Because, how are you going to sit here? I've shown you the video where it's an older lady mistakenly pressed the gas pedal instead of the brake pedal and went 90 miles an hour into a stoplight, wrecked 8 people, and killed a family.
Yes, that's very bad, and I'm not disagreeing with you that, folks of a certain age, mental faculty, or condition shouldn't drive. We are on the same level. We totally agree. What I think you're missing here is, and that doesn't even count, failure to comply is a problem. And that is a flawed action of theirs that they should get punished for, in however way, the law sees fit, the government, whoever sees fit. Yes, they should get punished if they are told, you cannot drive, your license is revoked, you can't see well enough, and they go, fuck you, and go 90 miles an hour to a stoplight and cause mass mayhem. That is an individual failing. That is a failure on their part. What I'm saying is, just because, say, an elderly person could once drive, let's say they were a NASCAR driver, say Dale Earnhardt never died. Dale Earnhardt, zips around, wins 1 million races, gets old, can never race again. That doesn't make, even he perfectly complies even. Let's not even put in the failure to comply. He gets his license revoked, he gets kicked out of NASCAR, natural causes, he just can't drive anymore. That would not make him a failure, that just makes him a NASCAR driver who can no longer drive, because he has aged out of it. In his heyday...
in the terms of NASCAR, if you cannot drive for NASCAR, you are a failure for NASCAR.
No, that's called a retiree and a legend.
That is called a failure for NASCAR.
That's not a failure. You're a failure
if you ain't
for
first,
NASCAR.
you're last. If you're last, you're a failure.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. He's not last. Dale Earnhardt, he was, even when he was alive, considered a legend. He was, top of his game. Again, the only reason I'm sure he's not racing now is literally because he died. There are other, football players, NASCAR drivers, WWE wrestlers, name a sport. There's someone who was, in their heyday, top of their game, best of the best, won hundreds of times. and they retired or left or got injured and can't play anymore, just can't do their thing anymore. That does not... that doesn't make them a failure. It just means they aged out of it.
Failure.
It means they had their moment, just like the iPod Shuffle had its moment. Now it's like the iPhone 12 or whatever. I don't know what phase of iPhone we're on because I don't rightly care. The iPod... Yeah, I don't know. The iPod Shuffle had its moment. Now the iPhone XXX is front and center. But a lot of people are going back to their old iPod devices because the older stuff still works. And I guess that is another problem with at least modern hardware, not only not being dedicated, but modern hardware in general, is it breaks so much easier than it used to. And it gets bugged so much easier than it used to. Like, and I'm not talking about mods or anything. I'm just talking about shit not working. It wasn't as common. Like Nokia phones. If you plugged in a Nokia phone after it got ran over by a train, it would probably still work. You sneeze too hard on an iPhone and the whole screen shatters, like...
Yeah, because that's an iPhone. iPhones alone are just dog shit.
Yeah. Nokia, right? That's what we need to be, when we send our boys overseas, just forget the Kevlar, just code them in Nokias. Like, the death rate of soldiers will drop. Right? IKEA phone tank. Let's go. Or Nokia, not IKEA. IKEA stuff. If it was an IKEA tank, you'd have to build it yourself.
Calling fucking customer support. Hey, we're missing our main barrel.
Right?
Oh, I am so sorry. We'll go ahead and send it out to you.
Yeah, stuff, it's just, again, it's not even just an issue of dedicated hardware in general, which I am very pro dedicated hardware. I had no problem as a kid when I had to switch between, my PlayStation's plugged in, but I want to play my Wii game. You just pull out some AV cords, plug some AV cords in, or if you had them all, what was it? If you had it set up, because I just had a small box TV with just the 3 AV cords, so I had to switch them out manually, but some TVs had multiple rows of AV cords where all you had to do was change the input, and then bam. I don't see a problem with that. And even, I have Roku TVs, it's pretty much the same thing, same concept, where, I'm done playing on my computer, I'm going to pull up Amazon for some streaming, home button, change the app, boom. All I'm saying is, it tends to work better with physical media than with digital. Because there have been times, no fault of mine, like, all the bills are paid on time, I have power, I have internet, everything's great. I'll pull up Amazon. I'll be like, I want to watch Kiki's Delivery Service. That's one of my favorite Ghibli movies. Pull up Amazon Prime. This title's not available in your country right now. Or, our servers are down. Or, something went wrong. You can't use any of Amazon. You'll have to try again later. Like, okay, you know what? If I had my Kiki's Delivery Service tape and VCR, I could just be like, okay, pop open, put it in. Given the tape hasn't broken, and the VCR still works, it's called pop in, play, movie. It works. And yes, there is a quality difference. A lot of films have been remastered for newer TVs. It is funny watching 80s cartoons on a modern TV because they just look so funny and grainy in comparison. But there's still a certain charm to that, in my opinion. There is a reason certain things get remastered, like the Tomb Raider trilogy was not made for widescreen HD 4K TVs.
True.
So that is my argument basically for dedicated hardware is it tends to be more consistent and reliable than our newfangled do-it-all machines.
I still don't agree with that.
No?
No, because there's so many issues that happen with older hardware, and that's why they got phased out.
See, I didn't think it was issues that had them phased out. I thought it was just them trying to... I thought it was more the convenience route. Like, what if instead of having, like we said at the beginning, what if instead of carrying around a book, a CD player, your laptop, and your newspaper, all in your baggie, you would, get a big old tote bag like I just showed off and carry it all. What if you could fit it all in your pocket? It's on the go. Or like the old, back in when I was in school, they even, again, into my high school years, we had, teachers going, you're not gonna, you gotta know this math stuff. You're not gonna have a calculator out, on you at all times. You're not gonna carry around a calculator in your pocket. And now you literally do. Every cell phone is equipped with a calculator.
Yeah.
And you can install scientific calculator apps if you need to use more complex functions.
Every phone that has a calculator app has the option for the scientific calculator.
And see, that's news to me. I don't have a purpose for scientific calculators right now, so I don't really use it. The only time I bought a graphing calculator was for my statistics class like 3 years ago. Mainly because they wouldn't let us use our phones, because duh. Because it's like, oh, I'm not looking up the answers. I'm using my graphing calculator function. See? This is an English class. Damn it. That obviously never happened. That was just a poor attempt at a joke. But you're still not allowed to use your phones in class for that reason during tests.
Yeah.
But I guess, what, at the end of it all, I want to know what y'all think about dedicated hardware, analog versus digital. It wasn't the most structured debate or discussion, but it's just something that, I wanted to talk about. So you used to play games on the home computers. Yep, TI-99. That's what my dad had, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I want to know what y'all think about this fun little, discussion we've had. What do you think about analog versus digital, dedicated hardware versus doing it all? Let us know on all of our socials, which can be found at Linktree/GFA Entertainments. We've got Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. Or you could, contact me directly, come to any of my streams. I stream 5 days a week. I don't care if I'm playing, Red Alert or The Sims or whatever. Bring your opinions to me. I love talking about anything and everything. The more chatty the chat, the better. And all my links can be found at vertishell.com and vertishell.card.co.
And then you can find me at linktree/muffinsincere. All of my links are there, and a lot of Brittany's links are also there. Mm-hmm. So by all means, click around, find them, follow, and subscribe.
And until next time, thanks so much for watching and or listening to another episode of Ginger Force Apocalypse, the podcast. And keep happen, folks.